Start replay buffer. Pop out YouTube. Make it happen. Snappy style. Hello, contained animosity. Hello, Tomu. Effort and Hyperdrive Hydra. You beat. Oh, Hyperdrive Hydra was here at 12:05. I'm so sorry, Hyperdrive Hydra. We're here. What's up, Starry? How you doing? We're doing good. So today, guys, we are gonna take it back to big subathon hours. I'm gonna be working on first a commander roast. If we get a commander roast done, possibilities are endless. Bully a child. Could rob a middle-class iron worker. Quite frankly, there's a pensioner down the road from where I live. I've been eyeing their echidnas. I get some knuckles, you know. So we're gonna work on a roast first. Ruhan of the Fomori is picked. I have a couple, like, I don't know if I can call them jokes, but I have like references and bits that I'm trying to do. Is this where we are supposed to post feet now? I didn't get the whole memo. What part? What? Huh? No. Whole memo? What part of what memo instructed, of any memo, instructed this to be the feet place? That's incorrect. Back it off. There hasn't been a page. There hasn't been a tweet. There hasn't been a whatever you do on Blue Sky. I haven't done an Instagram story. There's no memo. Oh, that 1 feet deck. True. That does count. That's a memo. Yep. This is where you post feet. I'm sorry about that. Trober, thank you for the 45-bit cheer. Take the last of my bits so I can ask boss, when can I throw money at you but not like a whole 75? Soon. That's part of the reason we're not doing deck roasting today and we're not selling any deck roast today, is I am trying my best to get through the deck review queue. Gorgonite, I'm sorry somebody stole your feet swag. What's up, Brackish Brit? How you doing? Yeah, so right now we have, I think, 25 decks left in the review queue. I did either 5 or 6 yesterday, and may God have mercy on all your souls that I didn't make that range one higher. Hyperdrive Hydra, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. So glad you're back at it, boss. Can't wait to request a review when they go up today. Oh no! I've been fucked. Simply cut off your jaw and replace it with the cold certainty of steel. It worked great for that one Bond henchman. Yeah, I don't have a munch fruit though, so I'm not going to do that. What I am doing, and part of the reason we're doing this today, is I am starting a pretty aggressive acupuncture regimen, and by aggressive I do mean expensive, because those motherfuckers charge a lot of money. So I gotta make a lot of stuff. Now, so far, acupuncture has been the only meaningfully effective thing that I have had done against. Is it helping? Yes. In the last week, the closest I have felt to normal was the like 2 hours after I got acupuncture done. Like, I went and got acupuncture done. I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I can almost not feel my jaw. Like, I'm still aware of my jaw, but my jaw feels like a normal part of my body. I haven't been able to get in with a TMJ specialist. I am getting in with them. But that is not something I can do. Like, I have a standing relationship with the acupuncturist, so it's easier to schedule with them. The TMJ specialist is in high demand, so it's like later next week. Got my 10,000 needles like I'm a green creature from Final Fantasy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. First time chat, I love the videos so much, enjoying them a lot. My girlfriend also thinks you look like Captain America for some reason. A very normal reason. Hold on. No. A very normal reason. Let's look at this. Come on. We take this, right? Now I just want you to imagine. Where's the right? A little bit more. Okay, that's me. That's me. Looks like Captain America for some reason. Please. America's hairline. Any idea when, if the zombie competition is becoming a video? I'm not sure. It should be soon. The first one did so bad that I'm not like incredibly keen on paying to get the next one edited and put up. Does the next Ko-Fi slots release today? No. We're still having I have listen, you guys, I'm gonna keep it a stack. We're suffering from success a little bit with clearing the deck roast queue. Because what's been happening is I'll have days where I go, I had one day in particular where in trying to clear the deck roast queue, I went, great, how many do we have at the beginning of the day? 27. Okay, let's handle business. So I start knocking them down, right? I'm icing, I'm stretching, I'm moving around in between every one to make sure that my like vagus nerve and my vertebrae all relaxed. End of the day, I did 4 reviews. It was a good day. End of the day, that got us down to 27 reviews left in the queue. Insert the fuck or the like Vine Boom meme in your head. And to the people saying, could you up the price by $10 or something, supply and demand and all that. All of these were at the $75 price. So again, absolutely suffering from success. This is awesome. I love money. I love having the money to pay my acupuncturist to unfuck my jaw. Would it be better if they had 2 weeks to be completed instead of 1 week? I mean, right now, everybody who got an on-demand one has not gotten their deck back in the 1 week time domain. I've had to send many emails and many apologies. Once I get caught up on the queue, it's very possible to get them done in 1 week. It's not going to be a thing where we have to change it to 2 weeks long term. But for now, like, yeah. Juicy Trash Bag, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. And Starry, thank you for the 7 streams in a row. Puppy Boy Chris Evans. Is that an insult? Hold on. Puppy Boy. Slang. Banned. Alright, you know what? I put up with a lot of shit. Not today. Where are you? Die. Thunder Tempest, what would be a UB set you want to see? For me, I want to see a Gundam UB somehow. My answer is always Bleach. Always Bleach. Give me a double-sided sword. Give me a legendary sorcery that is Bankai. Or make it a saga, depending on the captain. Kiraku Suntree enjoyers know. Give me Ichimaru Gin, whose sword just gives him reach. Please, I need it. Do you think the pre-release for Marvel is going to be good? I'm optimistic. I think it will be better than Turtles and Spider-Man because they have enough cards in the set that you're not going to get screwed by the legend rule. That's the thing I'm most worried about, because every uncommon and above creature I have seen spoiled is legendary, but I've also seen so goddamn many of them that I do think it's possible that you never have to go deeper than, like, maybe you have a 2 of something for the legendaries. I find the designs overall uninspired. Part of me agrees and part of me disagrees, because the thing about the Marvel set is they're very much doing Taco Bell design and also Taco Bell bangs. Like, a lot of the individual Final Fantasy designs were not particularly inspired. It's a bunch of mechanics we had seen before, but they were put together in slightly new ways, in ways that related to the characters, and in ways that didn't really break the game in half, which I'm a very big fan of. So I think we're going to be closer to Final Fantasy than we're going to be to Turtles or Spider-Man. Even Spider-Man was way better than people thought. Personally, the designs are very hit or miss. I think that's fair, but I think that's also true for like characters in the comics, right? Let me hit the manual ad break real quick. We're all getting laser beam. I just don't like Thanos being a board wipe in the command zone. True, but it's better than Child of Alara, right? And it's very flavorful. We can debate a lot of things. I think Thanos is a lot worse than people think. A lot of people on my like first react video were like, "No, Mauled, you don't get it. When he enters, it discounts power up by his mana cost. You can board wipe for 3 mana after paying 3 mana. Think about it." I did. I'm happy for you. I'm not afraid. Yeah, like it's Thanos' thing. It's a very, very appropriate design, and they did do it in a way that made it like less. Can you imagine how awful it would be to play against Thanos if they were like flip a coin for every creature? Come on, God bless Wizards design for the odd even thing. God bless them for that. We had to sit down and just like roll some d6s to determine what happens to the Skewed Swarm player's board. I would freak out. Yeah, split up his 3 mana. That's what I'm saying. Is like people were like, hold on. And I want to reiterate, I think it's a good thing that he's mid. I think the more of these cards that are mid, the better, because it lets people do their special interest commander without ruining casual commander night. But so many people were trying to tell me like, no, dude, you don't get it. You play him, the power up's reduced by Mardu. It's 3 mana. You get to board wipe somebody. I have been living under the ravages of the hobbits my whole life. My girlfriend has a bird deck with all low power birds. I'm getting board wipe for 2 to 3 mana every day of my life. Like, this is dope. It's not too powerful. It's powerful enough that you can try to get something going. Like, he's a punch kick merchant and a board wipe merchant. And he's decent at both of those things. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Give him to me. And you get to be all 5 colors. So like you can probably run this commander anywhere from, like, you could bracket 2 easy, bracket 3 easy, bracket 4 you can cope because you have all 5 colors and you can just run like every good card ever made. Bracket 2 feels too mean. I don't know. No. Is Toxic Deluge breaking the format, or is it just a good card? It's just a good card. What do you think breaking the format means? I would be interested in that definition. Now, I will say, many people, like, a lot of motherfuckers who post on Instagram would argue it was breaking the format. But God bless them. They need the views. Hello, Maldown. I'm live at the Airport Way Costco. $3 for 2 Polish dogs is great. Hell yeah. Do you think doing commissions based on a deck type would make things more manageable? Maybe, but I don't need things to be more manageable. I need to be able to talk more. Alec Man, no, I missed it. Zero Gear, thank you for the 5 streams in a row. Medvza, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Welcome to the Dog Home. And Eris Leo, thank you for the 3 months at Tier 1. Welcome back to the Dog Home. Somebody tried to tell me the Captain Marvel with the indestructible counter was great. Like, nah, she mid. Oh yeah, this one? Yeah, she's mid as fuck. That's awesome. Good. Yes. Sweep 84, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the Dog Home. Like, it's Medusa. Okay. Listen, man, I do my best. I do my best. Like, here's my thing. This is mid, but somebody believes it to be the coolest thing ever, which is perfect commander design. Conversely, One of the designs I like less, even though I think it's totally appropriate, is Squirrel Girl, because everybody's gonna look at this and be like, this is hilarious, this is the cutest thing ever, I'm playing it, which is all true. And then they're gonna feel bullied when they have to get their commander removed, because if you don't get the commander removed on site, you're gonna drown in squirrels in like one turn. It doesn't matter if you're going infinite, like you cannot, because a lot of people are gonna go like, no, 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 I'm not playing the infinites. Doesn't matter. Did you make mana in green? Did you play a forest? You are the danger. You are Walter White, and I am going to learn from the lessons of Gustavo Fring and kill you. And so people are gonna feel like, I think a lot of people are gonna feel bullied playing this deck. And that makes me sad, but they do deserve it. I think this just goes 1 in the 99 for Yeager or any other squirrel deck. If you're playing it for like mechanical benefits, yeah, but a lot of people are just gonna go, ha, squirrels. Maul, do you see WotC doing a Worm and Ward parahuman set? Well, I don't know what that is, and as a popular content creator, everything WotC does is to make me happy, so I doubt it. Lumberjack Shaggy, thank you for the 7 streams in a row. Welcome back to the dog park. These are going pretty well. AG Gravity, thank you for the random smasher pass. Pass. Could not keep it in my house. Do not want to kiss it. None of the above. Happy 6-7 Mauled, I accept my ban. Thank you for your sacrifice. No, I saw it this time, Alec, man. I like that whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature effects. Sure, we've gotten that before with Heroic, Valiant, Repartee. WotC has slowly been assembling tools for an archetype revolving around this targeting matters archetype. I just wish the cards we got were more powerful. Well, that's the problem, right? Because we got Nadu. We've seen what it looks like when these cards are more powerful, because we have too many things that are... There are way too many abilities that already exist that are manaless targeting for them to ever make it too good. Like, they have to kind of suck, because we already have the gas that if the payoff is ever good, it just becomes like combo hell immediately. And I do think Marvel has some of the stuff for people who want to live in the middle, where it's like, yeah, I'm trying to do something kind of good, but I don't just want to Shuko combo people. If we turn the music up 1 or 2 ticks, I'm turning it down 1 or 2 ticks just for that. Boss, if you're given the choice between one of the 4 Marvel precons during Decked Out, which you grabbing first? I have no idea. I don't know. They all look fine. None of them speak to me. The Variant Human, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. I've been feeling creatively bankrupt lately. Any advice? It depends what you mean by creatively bankrupt, because creatively bankrupt can mean you are making stuff that doesn't appeal to your creativity, but you continue making it for some other motivation, or you could mean burnt out. And what you need to do for each of those things is different. I have been through both of those problems, so I can help with either, but I need a little bit more burnt out. So so in the vein of the worst guy you know made a great point. A guy that I take advice from a lot, not directly obviously, when I see their videos, is Alex Hormozy, who is a very like dead-eyed business influencer. And he's like very successful but can't enjoy his life anymore because he has like committed so much of his soul to just learning how to make United States dollars. But he had some pretty good advice about burnout, which was like, burnout is really just a consequence of your feedback loop doesn't reward you. Either the reward you get for doing the thing is not big enough, or you don't get rewarded often enough. So I think the first step, if you're feeling burnt out, is understand, what is my reward? When I do something, whether it's creative, productive, you know, I wanted to say patriarchal, but altruistic. Altruistic, like what are you expecting to get out of that process? What are you expecting to get out of that endpoint that's going to make you go, yeah, this was worth it? For me, creatively, it's usually a video that I enjoy watching back. I don't get many of those, but whenever I get one of those, I feel so rewarded. Yeah. I know you're not talking about Magic. You don't need to be talking about Magic specific. We haven't made it. None of this advice has been Magic specific. I'm having a lot of problems with my Sunday D&D game. So same thing. You need to think about what is the reward. Because in a D&D game, the reward can be I spent time with my friends. The reward can be, as it often is for me, people laughed at a bit I did during the session. That one's a little bit more dangerous because you can't force other people to laugh, and you can become a little bit worried about, oh, they're fake laughing to patronize me. But you have to be honest with yourself about what the reward is. So think about your reward system, and then think about, well, the last 5 times I have received this reward, has the reward felt like enough? And if it's felt like enough, then it means you're not getting the reward often enough. So find a way to make the reward better, find a way to make the reward happen more often, or take like a week off and see what happens. Pretty Lights, I love you. Thank you. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Zads, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. I took a year-long break from running, and I'm having trouble really getting back into it. So that's not burnt out. That's inertia. There's a lot of things that can be wrong after a year-long break. The one thing you can't be after a year-long break is burnt out. You were probably burnt out at whatever point in time made you take the year-long break. Right? That makes sense to me. What's on the board? I was talking about deck review economics, but Ruhan of the Fomori is the commander we're going to be working on today. Because I'm making a custom set, I had this question pop up in my head. Would you ever do a review of custom stuff besides individual cards? Yeah, we've talked about that in the past. I don't know on what time scale I would do it, because right now custom cards are not a big priority. Soul? If you had asked me any time before a week ago, I would have said The Hobbit. I think right now, I'm more excited for Marvel. Thoughts on non-CEDH Karkashima, no fast mana. Would not bring it to Gen Pop, otherwise go crazy. Turns are still going to be, like what you're doing if you do non-CEDH, no fast mana, you're still doing CEDH Karkashima. I need you to understand that. Whatever you say you're doing CEDH Karkashima. The difference is you are doing the build up slowly enough that people have a chance to get you before you can win in a CEDH timetable. But that still means you're going to win with this big, long, non-deterministic, but secretly deterministic storm turn. And so I would not subject randoms to that, but I would subject your friends to it. Have you looked at the Hobbit spoilers yet? No. We're not going to do a competition for it. Oh, Garden, it's good to see your little text name again. I feel like that sort of deck style is most Spellslinger is it decks though. Correct, and that's why they. Okay, so here's my conspiracy theory. So I've long been a because my first deck was Niv Mizzet, I've long been a believer that Izzet is just not good to play in casual. Izzet Spellslinger. It sucks to play in casual. It makes people feel bad. And because you have to take incredibly long turns and you still probably win and you have to resolve a million different triggers and nobody's smiling. And so what did they do? They made Rutha and Tella and Scarlet Witch and all these other Spellslinger things that care about you just casting one big meaty spell and getting a trigger or two instead of casting half your deck in one turn. So this is what casual Spellslinger looks like. It's like Spell Stompy is what they are making for us, because I think they recognize, oh, is it in we're playing for fun kind of blows. But they also made like Storm and Vivi. Right, they still make good cards. They're not like, because they understand people like playing above that casual level. But they're making way more tools for people to play it at the lower down casual level. Scarlet Witch feels very underwhelming given how powerful she is in comics. I would assume we're going to get another version of her. Whether it's in this set or another one, there's no way the entirety of Scarlet Witch's contribution to the Marvel Universe in Magic the Gathering is a 3-mana cost reducer. Do you think Cheerio style decks are in the same don't play in Gen Pop realm? Yeah. So my perspective is a little bit biased because I love talking so much that I'm going to take up a lot of the shot clock even if my turns are tight. So I won't play any deck that takes really long turns in Gen Pop because of that. Because I'm already running up the possession timer and I don't want to take up too much of the table's time. If you aren't a yapper, you don't politic, you don't make like deals with people, you don't try to make jokes at the table, like you can get away with a longer deck, like you're doing an Artifact Cheerios loop, you have your Mystic Forge deck, you have your Maria deck. I mean, Maria should probably get you taken out back, but you understand what I'm saying. But if you're a yapper at all, or you engage with yapping, no, I would not play any of these decks in casual. Is it the most powerful Ravnica guild? I think you could make a pretty serious argument for that, because of Ravnica guilds, is the only one that has representation in CEDH? Is Simic a Ravnica guild? Or is that a different... I always mess up like which naming convention is from which planes. It is. Then I don't think you can call them most powerful. Because I think Simic has to take it because they have Kinnan. Even if, you know, I don't think Kinnan is from the Ravnica set. But if we look at like the peak of what each guild is doing, Kinnan is at least more reliable than Karkashima and at least as good. But like, Orzhov's not in the conversation, Rakdos isn't in the conversation, Selesnya is not in the conversation. Yeah, all the other 2-color guild pairings I don't think are in the conversation, but Izzet and Simic are both up there. As someone who's really casual, what does make Mystic Forge such a good card? It looks fairly underwhelming. So it tends to be not that it's... Let me back up a second. More access, more deck. Good. Yum. Play lot card. More card than opponent. Opponent have 3 card in hand. Me, 70 card in deck. Be play card from deck better than play card from hand. Then you have to get into artifact synergies, which usually makes casting these artifact spells or colorless spells cost nothing. And at that point, it's like, play card from deck, play card free. Many good, yes. And then even if you get stuck, you can tap it to exile the top card of your library. So if there's like a land in the way, and many artifacts will have things that can untap other artifacts. So it basically just means me play from deck, play for cheap. No mana, 70 card. Yes, can't be stopped. Untap 5 times. Get rid of all bad card. Yum. And then like it's just, yeah. And then you just get cooked. Oh yeah, true. Sensei's top much wow. Yeah, that's without even getting into the fucking like uh deterministic combo loops. The Fantastic Four Infinite combo is a pretty cool idea, but Mr. Fantastic is kind of broken. See about that. Come on. Oh, this one? I mean, he's not broken. He's good. Right? Is it this guy? Or are you talking about Reed Richards? Because we can't be talking about Reed Richards. Are you talking about Mr. Fantastic? You would think that... What the fuck going on? What the fuck going on? Reach, true. 2-4 with reach, too good. Drawing cards is good. That's true. That doesn't make it broken. Not every good thing in this game is broken. Locust God go burr? Oh yeah, right. It probably makes the 2-card infinite with Locust God. Bald, what about Dimir and CEDH? Isn't that prevalent? So I'm not counting when Dimir is just contained inside 4 colors. I'm talking about CEDH decks that are just the Ravnica Guild colors, and I don't think we have any high performing Dimir CEDH decks. Like I think we have 4 color piles that have blue and black in them, because blue and black, many tutor, many counterspell, yes, good. Oh yeah, Yuriko used to be real. Yeah, Yuriko is the highest representative for Dimir, and they're not very good. Right, there's also 3 color with Rog Sai, which doesn't count. It doesn't count. I thought Talion was a CEDH deck. Am I crazy? So I mean, anything can, like, people can bring anything to a CEDH competition. Somebody brought an unmodified Pant Laza Precon to a CEDH competition. I'm talking about what's good. Bone Lord, thank you for the 5 streams in a row. Gilman, thank you for the 55. Knight C, thank you for the 31 months at tier 1. Does he stretch though? It kind of looked like it. He be stretching. He be stanced in the back there. Why is my rum gone? Thank you for the 70 streams in a row. Welcome back to the dog park. Good to see you here today. Stretching the boundaries of acceptable card design. He's fine. They did Steve crazy dirty in the Super Soldier Serum alt art. Bro looks like clavicular. That's rude as fuck. That's rude as fuck. How dare they? Are like Hidetsugu and Kairi fidget spinner combos not a thing there? Reads like the kind of cards CEDH would break easy peasy. So Hidetsugu and Kairi are very much a like bracket 4 deck. You can try it in CEDH, but it's too mana hungry to keep up. It's too mana hungry. You don't have enough like generically good cards. Isn't the point that he's supposed to be scrawny before getting the juice? Yeah, but he looked like a bobblehead. Come on. We know what's up. Contained animosity. Thank you for the 100-bit cheer. A man read 12.5% of the Bible. He's an atheist. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How does Kyrgyzstan of Yagma alright in CEDH? No pay mana good. Pay life instead of mana? Easy. 40 life. Only 3 mana. Hey, life better. The Speedball, is that the redirector guy? He seems cool. What do you have about opinions on Misty Knight besides Smash? Smash. What was the question? I thought Rograk was the most played CEDH commander. Probably, but that's not. We're not talking about what's good in CEDH in general. We're talking about Ravnican guild representation in CEDH. How do I get my deck looked and laughed at? So Lifney, it depends on whether you want a review or a roast. The roasts probably won't be for sale until next Sunday or the Sunday after. Those are done on Ko-Fi. The reviews are also done on Ko-Fi. We do $15 reviews and $75 reviews. The only difference is whether you have to wait for them to be sold. So the $15 reviews are sold for cheap every Sunday. The $75 reviews you can buy whenever, and it just puts you straight in the queue. Saint Saynot, thank you for the 9 months at tier 1. Happy birthing to our sub baby. Appreciate your generosity. He just, hi boss, I emerged from a K-hole to wish Z a happy pride and you a happy sale on Rogaine at Target. How goes it? Well, first of all, Aegis, I appreciate your contribution to the dog pile. On the hair front, Lifney the roasts are also 75. On the hair front, we have devastating news. One of the things Z has suggested, because they were looking into medicine interactions, is we're having me stop taking my hair medication for a little bit because it can contribute to the type of like headache problems and sleep problems that I've been having. And so it may accelerate our need. It may accelerate my need for that trip to Turkey, and it may also have to change my overall game plan with it, because like when you get a hair transplant, you're supposed to be on minoxidil finasteride for the rest of your life, because the hairs you get transplanted, those are very resistant to balding, but like the rest of your hair has normal balding vulnerability. So normally if you get a hair transplant, they're like, okay, you have to take minoxidil and finasteride forever now, because if you don't, we put a bunch of hair here, and then you fast forward 5 years, and you've like lost the hair here, and then you just have a fucking Grand Canyon in the middle of your dome. Have you considered Nutrafol? I'm gonna be getting that. I have a little serum, so I do micro needling around the hairline. I do like scalp massage. I do red light stuff for it. So I'm gonna get Nutrafol too. Do decks have to be funny to get roasted? No funny tags equals no content? Not true. Decks don't have to. It's actually funnier when you don't try to make the deck funny. Historically, or some very funny decks have been when they think they're funny, but traditionally it's like if you come in with a deck you think is funny, 25% chance the roast is going to be funny. If you come in with a deck you think is totally serious and good, 90% chance that deck's going to be funny. 90% chance. Now it's the cue ball life for me instead of medical reliance. Yeah, but like I've seen myself bald, and I like how I look with hair so much more. But because I may be banned from the Dave and Buster's of taking minoxidil, I might just go the toupee route, because that'll be the only option left for me if I can't take the medicine to the post-surgery medicine. Opinion on Echo from the sport. Oh, this one? Yeah, we're getting a lot of copying things. That would be interesting in Suse. You could be a funny wig guy and just roll with it. Oh, I think there's a lot of bits I can do. I would personally prefer... Oh, screen not shared. Thank you. I would personally prefer to have the hair transplant done. But if I have to do a toupee, I'll do a toupee. I'm scared of hair loss. My entire family had their hair well into their 80s, and then my one uncle lost it at 19. The Norwood Reaper comes for every bloodline, baby. On cooldown, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 16th month in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. I got my Google Doc for my deck review in late because Google locked my email. Very cool. That blows. Isn't Echo just a worse but cheaper go-go? I like how you said, isn't Echo just a worse, parentheses, but way better go-go? Cheap, good. Mana, playing land, bad. No play land. Need little mana, do big thing. Cheaper go-go, better go-go. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, yeah, it has a lower ceiling, but in many decks that want to use this type of ability, you don't need to copy something 500 times. Copying something once can be good enough. Like, people were talking about it for Sisay. If you copy Sisay's ability one time for 1 mana, that's good. On cooldown, thank you for the 100-bit cheer and wishing us all a happy 6-7. Opinion of proxy in casual. Yeah, proxy whatever. Proxy at all. I don't give a shit. They're game pieces. Obviously don't proxy in official wizard settings where you're not allowed to proxy, but like kitchen table magic? What the fuck? Yeah. What are we doing? I think honestly a lot of people just don't have high enough standards for how they have fun. Because one of the biggest complaints I see about proxies is a complaint about like power creep, where it's like, oh, if we're not limited by budget, we're gonna get into like an arms race. And it's like, I've had friends who engage in hobbies like that, and I'm not friends with them anymore because it's not fun to play games like this with them. Like, what? It's like somebody describing to me how they can't ever wear the color red because they're friends with too many like wild boars who go crazy when they see red, and they're like, dude, red shirts aren't right. Like, you just shouldn't wear them because it makes everybody violent. And it's like, what? Why are we friends with fucking 5-year-olds, dude? Right, it's not a matter of using proxies, but it's enabled by using proxies. We can't, as much as I would like to, we can't fully separate the idea of this is not the fault of a thing, but it is very much enabled by the thing, and we have to consider that. Like, the people who want to engage in that very unfun arms racing are enabled by proxies. It's worth having a discussion about how proxies might enable that behavior at your table. That doesn't make it the fault of proxies, but it doesn't mean you can ignore the possibility of it as a problem. My take on it is always just fuck those people. I don't want to play Magic with you anyway. But my heart goes out to the people who have, like, you know, decades-long friendships, and they find out somewhere down the line, like, oh, fuck, you suck to play Magic with. Fuck, no, shit. Yeah, Metal Chef Kiwi, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now, too. Like, every, like, first draft of a deck is going to be proxied, because I don't know if that deck works how I want it to yet. I don't know if I want to commit to getting, I don't know if I want to commit to getting real cards for that deck. I don't know if I care about like making the deck look all pretty and shiny so I can show it off to people. Not on the first draft with it. And I very much don't have the motivation to like push everything to bracket 4. I am trapped in stream. My cat is sleeping on my arm. Good, the PayPal went through. What do you think about those full theme AI proxies that are everywhere on Etsy, etc. now? I think those suck because I think using generative AI to steal from artists sucks. You do the paper or playtest version of proxies like the cardboard ones. I'll like take real cards that I have and just slide printer paper over it. And then if the card good enough, I will look for an opportunity, get real card, maybe even get shiny card, show off, ha 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 ha, jingle keys. But I'm just like I'm chucking out islands on printer paper, dog. The whole you're not fun to play against thing is what discourages me from playing good, not even fully optimized decks. There's a nuance between you're not fun to play against and having powerful decks. Being not fun to play against is it's not determined by how good your deck is, it's how much unnecessarily better is your deck than the other people at the table. Like, do you show up every week with four new upgrades meant to snipe the decks of the people you're playing with? That's not fun. I like playing with good decks. I like playing CEDH. Like, the not fun to play against thing, because that's another, like, nuance doesn't exist on the internet, semantics are hard, but there's two camps of people. There are people who are like, you're not fun to play against, and what they mean is, all I want to do is win, and anything that makes me not win is not fun, and therefore is bad and unfair. And then there's you're not fun to play against, where it's like, you're not meeting the good faith expectation of the power level we want to be at in this game. And then both of those camps get confused by just people being bad at Magic and having biases about what cards are good or what cards are bad. The Gate, the Guard, the Key, thank you for the tier 1 sub with the 6 months in advance. Welcome back to the dog home. I admit that I do add expensive and strong cards to add to my decks via proxies, but I'm not trying to pub stomp. It's just that my LGS is a culture of playing pretty strong decks, especially in my pods. That's exactly where you should use proxies. Like, why is it fair for you to get pub stomped with all your friends just because you don't have 500 spare dollars to spend on the game, right? If we invert it, it's so immediately obvious why it's so stupid. It's like, why in this fun game that we know is a mess around and not some type of like strict fucking meritocracy, why is it fair for you to lose every game against people you just want to hang out with and have a good time with because you have like $1,000 less dollars than they do? It's so stupid. Hey Malt, how do you go about making an equipment deck less Voltron-y? You care about modified creatures. You play Boros Sephiroth. Yeah, you can do Sokka and Suki too. I just think Boros Sephiroth converts really cleanly to ending a game. It's just better Krenko, Shaggy. Yeah, we don't have to pull the card up. Squirrel Girl is just better Krenko. Fin Fang Foom, thoughts? Dog shit. Hilarious dog shit, but is dog shit. I want to make an Ormos Archive Keeper Voltron deck, but I'm worried I would be reliant on Thoracle style combos. I mean, what leads Lyrum, with love in my heart, what leads you to believe you could draw your deck before dealing 21 damage with a flying 5/5? Because 3 mana draw 5 once a turn is not cutting that shit, brother. I just want to keep it a stack with you. Like, put the adult playtime wand in the bag. Because now, if your thought is, oh, I want to win by putting 5 counters on Ormos Archive Keeper, yeah, then you're going to have difficulties, and like, that deck's just not happening. Respectfully, that deck is not occurring. Arissa Mapon, hi, I'm new to Magic, 4 months. I've been watching your videos on YouTube and just now getting to watch a stream. I hope you're enjoying. This is kind of a weird one. We haven't done a stream like this where it's just me yelling since the subathon last year. Another question for you, Maul. Do you think the Swords of X and Y are too strong for bracket 2? No. I think there's like, I think there can be a critical mass where they are pretty generic value pieces. I would not put too many of them in a bracket 2 deck because you're probably denying yourself the opportunity to run a card that is worse and more fun. That's what bracket 2 is for, right? We want to play cards that are bad and enjoyable. Now, some of the swords are not very good and fit into bracket 2 very well, but if you're like, yeah, Sword of Fire and Ice, Sword of Hearth and Home, Sword of Feast and Famine, it's like, okay, you're not breaking bracket 2. Why did you come to bracket 2 to play these cards that you could totally play in bracket 3? Swords of X and Y are mana expensive? No. Yeah, they're mana expensive, but not crushingly so. Apparently a Titan, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the Dog Home for the 5th month in a row, because my deck concept sucks. True. True. Are you looking forward to any of the Marvel Commanders? Weirdly, no. Like, I feel better and better about the Marvel set the more I see. Very few of the cards make me want to build them. A couple of the cards I want to put in my decks, but all the cards, it's like walking through a parking lot and seeing a Toys R Us and being happy that a Toys R Us is still around for 10-year-olds to get like dinosaur action figures at. Portal manipulated. That's crazy, dude. Smash, by the way. Maul, what MSH commander are you building first? None of them. I don't think I'm building a single one of them. There's a lot of cards that will go into like the 99 of other decks. Like, I will probably retool a number of blue decks to be able to use this guy, but he's not going to be in the command zone. I'm not playing Grixis Loki. Hey Mold, I want to use the displaced dinosaurs I bought in the deck, but I keep not having a good place to slot it. Give me an out-of-pocket stupid recommendation, but pretend it's the most obvious thing ever. Why are you not cutting a land from any deck that has green? Do you not play your commander? That's a historic card. They're a 7/7 now. That's commander damage in 3 swings. That's a 3-turn clock. That's winning turn 3. That's bracket 4 behavior. Do you not play Arcane Signet? 7/7 Arcane Signet, dumbass. I want the uncommon Mr. Fantastic for Watcher, but he just doesn't thematically fit. Do you mean Watcher in the water? Yeah. So Mr. Fantastic does thematically fit. We just have to stretch your noodle a little bit. So real quick, Watcher in the water. Oh god. How do I make Mr. Fantastic fit into this deck? Easy. Mr. Fantastic is on an undercover mission where he has to pretend to be a squid to stop Cthulhu. He's in a fucking ghillie suit. He's making it happen. Just like the classics. Hey boss, question for you. After a very long break, I'm back to working on my Warhammer minis. It's feeling good now, but when you mentioned that burnout is a symptom of the process and a hobby or thing you enjoy, I'd like to ask if you have any suggestions of how to avoid burning out again. I routinely find myself getting choice paralysis on what to work on. I think it all comes down to observation. Alright, so let me clean this off, because we're obviously having a tough time talking about Ruhan. Okay. Alright, let's just talk about burnout for a second. Okay. So burnout. It is just an equation of dopamine. I am working in a process. I'm doing something that takes effort, and I'm going to get some reward either at the end of it or partway through the process. To avoid burnout, the only 2 things I need to be sure of is, am I getting enough dopamine? Is the reward big enough? And is it often enough? Right? If I have a big enough reward, but I only get it once every like 2 months, basically the whole like back 7 weeks, I'm just going to be waiting for my reward and I'm going to get bitter. If the reward is happening every day, but it's not big enough, you're going to feel disillusioned. And so the way we sort this out is you must be specific and honest with yourself about what is my reward for doing the thing I'm doing. A lot of people don't want to have the level of introspection necessary, or they feel like it's somehow dirty. Like they feel like it's less genuine if they are like writing down in a diary, I want to do this because my internal reward is this, and it's better for you. It's better for you. Don't let your happiness be a mystery to you. Understand your own happiness. That doesn't mean you have to like put it in a headlock and try to put it on like a factory conveyor belt, but understand what is leading to you being happy or unhappy. So figure out what your reward is for doing a Warhammer mini. Like, is it when it's done? Is it some point in between? Is it after it's done when you show it off to other people? And the most important thing is you cannot lie to yourself about what the reward is. Nearly all of burnout is caused by people lying to themselves about what the reward in their feedback loop is, and then they don't get rewarded often enough, or they don't get rewarded big enough because they are pretending that they enjoy a reward they don't enjoy. Like me, I was getting burnt out of work, then I got a 14% raise, and then I'm fine. I'm now happier. But Maul, how will I justify my pretentious tortured artist persona? Like I do. Just keep watching me, bro. You'll understand. Oh, I get mad social burnout due to the tism. Okay, so I don't doubt that you have autism, but I am gonna argue that it's not because of the tism, or not directly because of the tism. Right? It's very common that we just go like, yep, because of the autism, because of the rautism, but it's just because you are not getting rewarded often enough or big enough. And part of that is because it is more difficult to get social rewards when you are autistic, because it's difficult to pick up on social cues. It's difficult to feel like you are having a genuine social interaction with these people. But if you could feel like you were getting rewarded often enough or getting rewarded big enough, it wouldn't matter that you were autistic. Now, it's again like a semantic issue, because the autism is the thing that's making it difficult to make the reward feedback loop good. But what that means is not we just go like, the feedback loop can't work. What it means is we have to redefine what the reward is, be something that we can get often despite being autistic. Whether that is like checking in with people transparently after the conversation, whether that is like reviewing the conversation in your head and telling yourself, I did do a good job. I showed care and empathy for my friends in these sentences here. Like, it sounds corny, but it does work because it gives you your reward, and it gives you a reward that is often and enough. And then you're not burnt out anymore. What if there's no dopamine left for just about anything? I mean, there's always dopamine in the banana stand. Dopamine is always a function of getting a reward often enough and significantly enough. I'm an unreliable narrator. I can't ask myself questions about social situations. Start doing objective diarying. Nearly everything in your life will require you to be not like, I trust myself about everything all of the time, but you need to be able to make yourself a reliable narrator. I would really suggest, I would do this in high school a lot when I was trying to learn how to socialize, and it served me very well. I went back to it a few times in college. After conversations, journal the conversation. Just write as much as you can remember in as many objective terms as you can remember in neutral terms. Neutral terms, describe what happened. That's a very actionable way. Make yourself a more reliable narrator. Omega King, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. What if there is no reward? We must create one. Right? That's the thing. You have to see, is there a way to get a reward for this process? If there's no way... Yeah, I was joking, but you made a very reasonable point. I mean, like, the problem is you're joking, but it's also something I identify with, because when I was trying to learn how to socialize as a child, and I was trying to figure out... I didn't know I was figuring out dopamine loop shit as a child, but when I was trying to figure out how to interact with people, I was always fighting ghosts. I was always just putting the dukes up about, like, they were mad at me when I said that. They didn't like that I said that. They think I'm weird, and it was just me making shit up in my head. And that type of neutral, objective note taking will slowly help rearrange all the shit in your brain. Do you have any tips on not having murder-inducing rage while building flat pack furniture? No, that's just hell. That's just hell. Off topic, what are those pink leaf monsteras in the background? These are plastic. IKEA, baby. What's up? I am a Kia baby. I ride around in square cars like I don't give a shit about physics. Fluff Siege, can you give more context? Because I'm worried that you said that while I was jumping around between like 5 different points, and I don't want to reply from the wrong perspective. Anhedonia is a bitch? I do not doubt that. I do not know what it is. Let's do some Googling. Damn, brother, that sucks. Best of luck. That's awful. That's truly terrible. Making an unbiased account of what happened, and writing was the topic, I believe. So don't let perfect be the enemy of the good, is my response to that. I was talking with some friends about meditation, and they were telling me, and I was like, hey, do you guys meditate? It's been really good for me. And they said, like, no, man, I don't meditate. I was like, why? They were like, well, ADHD, if I meditate, the thoughts just keep racing. Like, I can't ever stop thinking about things. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, when I meditate, I don't think I've ever reached the true zen of like, I have no thoughts in my head. The point is to just give yourself practice at letting those thoughts pass by a little bit more interrupted than they were the day before. And so the same with making an unbiased account of what happened. If you force yourself to write in neutral objective terms, by neutral objective terms, I mean you can't use coloring adjectives like angry, sad, annoyed. You cannot project emotions onto people. You're going to be bad at it at first, and you're going to be better at it the next time you do it, and you're going to be better at it the next time you do it, and over time you will get yourself to release the judgment that you have in your own head. Oh yeah, and I do focus. I have a whole like breathing thing that I do. Time kid. Meditation doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, I sit here for 5 minutes and then what? And then you're at a greater level of peace. How do I fix my dopamine cycle? I feel like I've become so fried nowadays. It's hard to sit still and watch something without skipping 10 seconds constantly or putting it on 2x speed. You have to remove stimulation. Right now, right, like if your dopamine cycle is fried, it's your brain is basically in a vat of mildly corrosive acid all the time. Like it's constantly being stimulated. Or you can think of it as like it's in a vat of water and being shocked a little bit all the time. We have to get it out of the water, right? There's not an electrical stimulation we can give it that's going to fix the fact that you're being tasered every 10 seconds of every day. The only thing that can fix it is picking that shit up out of the water. You have to go like stare at a wall. Those people who do the thing of like raw dogging an hour every day to fix my attention span, that works. And that works like instantly. That works in a week. Do you know how many fucking behavioral interventions work in 1 week? Almost none. It takes a long time to break and change habits, but if you just pick your brain up out of the water, get it out of the battery acid. No, Alec Man will scroll back up. But in practice, that has not happened when I've attempted to meditate the peace thing. So This is going to sound mean. I promise it's not mean. If I told you, and this is not actually like a health goal, but if I told you a good health goal would be to be able to squat 300 pounds, and you told me, yeah, but when I try to go into the gym and squat 300 pounds, health doesn't happen. That's what you're telling me. Peace is an eventual output of meditation. Greater internal peace, greater internal satisfaction is an eventual output of meditation. But you have to practice it, and you're going to be really bad at it at first, and you're not going to get very much out of it at first because you're bad at it. The point is to develop a skill. No. I said raw dogging 1 hour to fix your attention span works in a week. That is different. If you're willing to commit an hour a day to staring at a blank wall, you will fix your attention span in a week. That is not the same as achieving what is spoken of by the Bodhisattva through meditation. Those are two different endpoints. Huh? What? Z was trying to correct me because I misquoted the text I was trying to reference. Not 7, Tomu, 1. But 1 is like painful. Yeah, 7 hours of staring at a wall a week, you need it, yeah. I want to achieve nirvana and I want it now. Call JG Wentworth, 877 peace now. Isn't the first step to wanting nirvana to cease wanting nirvana? Yeah, if you're like a beta cuck Buddhist. What are you talking about? Alpha Buddhists go out and get the things they want, and they want a great many things. That's what the Buddha wants for us in heaven. We can definitely make a cult out of this. Alec, let me scroll up. Bam. Okay, that's a good question. You see, I used to set goals when I started around 2021. I also used to have a reward system where I'd tie buying new kits to the completion of others, but I quickly bent those rules until they just didn't matter anymore. So, the reason I would guess that didn't work is those are extraneous rewards. Those are extraneous rewards that are externally grafted onto the process rather than being a reward you get directly out of the process. The comparison point I'm going to make is with videos that I enjoy. If my reward for making a video was a certain number of views, I would very quickly put myself in the same spot that you are in. But the reward I want from making a video is a video that I want to watch back. I don't have to go out of my way to give myself that reward. That reward happens when I have engaged with the process faithfully enough. So I think what you need to figure out is there a tangible reward that I get from faithfully engaging with the process? If I don't, why am I doing this? Recently watched Veggies Flip the Table thing. How mad were you really in that game? I was really fucking mad for 2 reasons. I was mad, 1, because my jaw and neck were hurting tremendously. Veggies Flip the Table thing was one of the last things I filmed before I took my big break. I was limping through that. And then on the other hand, because I was in pain, I felt like I was being a very bad performer. So I felt very self-conscious about my performance in that game show. Not in terms of winning, but in terms of being humorous. So I was like super on edge that whole time. If you yourself are unreliable, don't make your reliance on yourself part of the process. I kind of agree, but I agree that's more of that's a risk management thing. If you yourself are unreliable, your number 1 goal in life should be, how do I make myself more reliable as a narrator? Like, that's it. You don't have any other problems in life. Well, you do, right? I'm obviously being exaggeratory, but from a spiritual fulfillment perspective, you have no problems in life other than you being an unreliable narrator, and all of your spare effort should be focused on trying different approaches to turn yourself into a reliable narrator. I used to just enjoy getting a piece done and adding it to my army and showing it off to my friends. Is that the kind of tangible reward you're referring to? Exactly. Exactamundo. Yes. And so we have to hone in on like, and maybe the thing is, because rewards can't be, is that even possible if you have severe ADHD? Your urge suppression is basically zilch if it's bad enough. Yes, it might require you to be medicated. I don't know enough about ADHD to talk about the treatment of ADHD, but like, from my current, albeit limited understanding, because I am not a fucking doctor and I have no medical training, I do not understand why having ADHD would prevent you from being a reliable narrator. Being a reliable narrator doesn't mean you always do things that are good for you. But I mean like, because I'm an alcoholic, so when I talk about reliable versus unreliable narrator, there's a difference between I'm drinking because I want to get super fucked up tonight and I want something crazy to happen, and I'm just drinking to take the edge off. Both can be self-destructive, but only the second one is being an unreliable narrator. So I'm not saying like, oh, if you're a reliable narrator, you're never... ADHD is sitting in the back of your head knowing you shouldn't do it and watching yourself do it anyways and then getting mad about it. That doesn't make you... Yeah, that doesn't prevent you from being a reliable narrator. That certainly sounds like it makes it more difficult to change the behaviors to live the life that you are telling yourself that you want to live. But that's different from being able to genuinely observe the world that is going on around you and make note of it in your head. You argue with yourself about it, it gives you poor emotional memory. You lose the context and hindsight after a few moments. Okay, that makes sense. Now I'm understanding why that would make it difficult to be a reliable narrator. What would happen if every 10 minutes you had to stop and write down what happened in the last 10 minutes and you weren't allowed to use emotional verbiage? I'm asking you to make an inference because I don't know ADHD well enough to know what would happen. Well, I feel like I joined in on a heavy topic. That sounds very time consuming. It depends on how... Because here's Fluffsies, here's why I'm coming from. I do that a lot, not for... Well, I actually do that a lot to work on being a reliable narrator for time blindness. Because I have a ton of problems with, like, I say I'm going to do something, 3 hours has gone by, and I've kind of done something. And so... you're, like, the process I'm describing would have to be different for you, because you would need to get a little bit more granular. But like yesterday, I slept really badly, and I was like, I feel like I'm not gonna do the things I want to do, and so I set a 15-minute timer on my phone, and the rule for the day was every time it went off, I had to hit restart, and I had to write what happened. And so I have like all these little entries, and I only did it through the middle of the day, so I wasn't perfect, but it still helped, where I just wrote like, what happened? And like one of the entries is stood there, because I just fucking stood there. I stood there and was frozen about the like 8 different things I felt like I should be doing. But importantly, when I do this stuff too, I'm always being that like neutral, objective narrator. Not gonna lie, that sounds pretty miserable. That's because you judge the fuck out of yourself. That's because you judge the fuck out of yourself, Tomo. And that's what this is meant to help you get better at. Because the first day I did it, true misery. I've now done it. I don't do it on a consistent enough basis to call it like a daily habit. But now when I do it, I am much more at peace with what's actually happening in my life. and it makes it easier to change the things that I'm not at peace with. Because I was telling my friend about it, because we went up to the woods over the like Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, and he was like, "Oh, that sounds terrible," and I was like, "Why does it sound terrible?" And he was like, "Because I would just write like doom scrolled, and then I would feel like shit." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the thing, is you're not allowed to write down the feel like shit part. You just write." I scrolled for 15 minutes, and the first time you're gonna judge yourself, and the second time you do it, you got to try to judge yourself a little bit less. It's so much of our inability to change a behavior comes down to how intensely we judge the behavior. And ironically, the more intensely we judge the behavior, the more difficult it is to change that. I mean, yes, but I'm more so saying that it's a huge pain in the ass to keep pulling myself out of what I'm doing to shift focus on what happened for the past 15 minutes. Going back and forth, like I'm in the middle of doom scrolling. I'm going to take time away from that to say, was doom scrolling? Yeah. That's the point. Like, if the point is for it to be enough of a pain in the ass to change the level of awareness you have about your own life. Alec Man, thank you for catching me back up. I do, yes. So the thing I was going to say about your Warhammer minis, what I think Alex Hormozy has wrong about this whole thing is that when he sets up the like, okay, reward, you have a cycle of like, I get a reward for doing work. I get a reward for doing work, it gives me dopamine, and if I get that dopamine often enough and intensely enough, it will make it easy for me to continue doing the work, and then we have this nice cycle that we can just perpetuate infinitely. Because you have enough dopamine, you can do more of the work, you can get more of the reward, you can get more of the dopamine to do more of the work, and I don't think that's true. I think for many of our activities, particularly activities we're trying to derive joy or fulfillment from, we do have some upper limits of how often we are open to receiving dopamine from a given behavior. And so the thing with your Warhammer minis is if the true reward is getting to see it fit nicely with your army and getting to show it off to your friends, you might only be open to receiving that reward once every 2 weeks. Right? No amount of, we can modulate the reward to try to make you, and that's probably why you went into the habit of like, okay, I'm going to staple on external rewards. Now I can get a new mini when I finish one. I can get this new other treat when I finish one. That's because your heart was not open enough to receiving the true reward as often as you wanted it to be. Does that make sense? Darkfire, see a psychologist. Is there a way to test whether you have ADHD, autism? There are a million, like, I'm gonna keep it straight with you guys. There's a million symptoms for ADHD and autism. Many people will have at least 2 to 3 symptoms of ADHD and autism just because they are intensely stressed out, because society for young people is incredibly stressful right now. You must go see a specialist. You must go see a psychologist. They will be able to actually figure it out. People on the internet don't fucking know, because like social media and the previous generations have made the world very bad. That whole like vat of battery acid thing I was talking about, like every young person's brain is in a fucking vat of battery acid, because when they're supposed to be caring about how do I get socialized, how do I learn skills at school, how do I start being like a physically active person, they're thinking about the fucking Iran war. They're thinking about if the USA is going to become Nazi Germany. There is so much stress. There are so many different things pulling our attention in different directions that like I would wager that every person under the age of 25 would tick at least 2 boxes on a do you have ADHD quiz, because of what short form social media has done to our attention spans, what the 24-hour news cycle has done to our conception of the world, what the previous generation has done to our conception of what our potential is in life. Do not rely on any test you see online. Are people with ADHD able to pull off stuff like 4-hour exams, or is it by definition pretty much impossible? Loki trying to self-diagnose right now. Go talk to a doctor. Anybody, if you tell them shit, I'm banning you. I will not enable this. Go talk to a doctor. If you are struggling enough with this that you are worried about it, speak to a doctor. Harval, thank you for the random smasher pass. Let's talk about, oh right, Chris Evans. Thank you, Chris Evans. No, I'm not sticking it in there. Yep, Alec, man, I get it. Again, like I'm certainly not trying to judge you right now. I'm just telling you, like, try to be real with yourself, and maybe the way you like reliably paint minis and enjoy it is you do it every other weekend. Like, because that's art, right? You're engaging in art. That's a beautiful thing. Maybe every other Thursday, you make yourself a nice dinner, you light some candles, and you just enjoy painting a mini. And then you send a picture of it to your friends in a group chat after. And that's your reward. And you're not going to get that reward more often than every other week. But that's okay, because that's a beautiful thing to happen every other Thursday. But is being honest with yourself, thinking with writing just a way to do the first thing to fixing a problem is to accept there is one? Kind of, yeah. I think it's also, I would take it a step further, because whenever I tried to do the first step to fixing a problem is to accept there is one, the problem with that is by the language talking about a problem, you are inherently judging yourself. I've never been able to change a behavior about myself by judging it. Some people can. Good for those people. That shit just bounces up. My brain too smooth, bro. It bounces off. The only way I've ever been able to change like big macroscopic behaviors in my life is to observe them and not try to call them like problems or good. Like, I'm not trying to call them good things, bad things, whatever. Just be honest about the behavior and then reflect after, and not even think about, is it good or bad? Just think about, do I want that? It's okay to, I'm not going to say it's okay to want bad things, but like, there are bad things I want. I don't even know, because I've so far removed myself from trying to call themselves good things or bad things. But anytime I was like, I want this and it's bad that I want this, guess what? I'm doing it. I'm self-destructing. 100%. Like, especially with my alcoholism, anytime I tried to go, it's bad for me to drink this much, I shouldn't want that. Guess who was blacking out that day? But once I started to just try to think neutrally, remove myself a little bit from the judgment and go, okay, I have an urge to do this. What is going to happen as a result of this? Not is it bad, is it good? Just think about what's going to happen. And then once I have thought about all the things that's going to happen, do I want that to happen? And with basically everything associated with alcohol, I very quickly began to go, no, I don't actually want that. Not that it's like morally bad or good, not that I should or shouldn't do it. I don't think I would enjoy that happening to me. And this is like a few steps down the line of, first step, just be a reliable narrator. Yeah, the gate to guard the key, you get it. Was once extremely fit, got a desk job, have a child now, can't do 2 flights of stairs or walk at a brisk pace and talk without being winded. How do I start a fitness journey all over again? So Banana Man, the most important thing is to find something you enjoy, right? Burnout cycle. We want to avoid the burnout cycle. We got to get you a reward. We got to get you something you like. So number one thing, what athletic pursuit do you think it would be cool to be good at? That could be calisthenics. That could be running. That could be heavy weightlifting. That could be doing a lot of pull-ups. But we got to find something where when you think about you doing that, you go, that's cool. That's cool that I can do that. And then we chase that. In terms of practical advice, I would say since you have a child, your time's going to be very limited. I would recommend sprints over trying to do long runs. It's much easier to get a sprint session in the morning than it is to try to figure out like a 6 mile run every day. I'm a big fan of a walking treadmill. My current, not even a rule, because I'm not judging myself, but a thing I really like doing is whenever I play League of Legends, I'm on the walking treadmill the whole time. It makes me feel better about my time spent playing League of Legends. I finished playing League of Legends. I was like, I strove for improvement. Like, my champion was working and I was working. That's cool. So if you can get yourself a walking treadmill, they're very cheap. This one was like $60 and works. But I would start with, pick a thing you think it will be cool for you to be able to do. Start practicing that. For actual fitness stuff, do some sprints. If you really don't want to do sprints, get a walking treadmill. And then remember, you always have time to not eat. Don't be anorexic. You have to make sure you hit your calorie goal. You have to make sure you hit your macronutrient goal. But that sentence knocked some shit loose in my head when I was like, fuck. When I was trying to figure out a diet plan, a workout plan, it was like, man, I do always have time. Like, the healthier way to do it is you always have time to not overeat. Your schedule might be very compacted. Maybe you didn't have time to get to the gym. Maybe you didn't have time to, cook yourself a healthy meal with like cruciferous vegetables and shit. But you always have time to not eat Doritos. Oh yeah, let me get Harvals. What was MLP's question? MLP, you mentioned several months before that you were considering offering deck rows for channel points. Would the slightly shifted content structure be a good time to think about some more? Yeah, but it probably means it's going to happen less because we're doing roasts less. Keneal Koic, yes, it's totally fine if you have a magic question. I know we've been a little bit distracted the whole time. I appreciate your patience. No, I mean, we're doing roasts in general less. Like, we're selling less, we're streaming less. That's what I mean. Method Collective, thank you for redeeming GF Hug Time. I will hug them right after the stream. Jellicle Dry, thank you for the 250-bit cheer. I see you opening Scryfall again. Might I make myself the center of attention and peep at my bits from pre-mental health talk? Oh, Jellicle, I'm so sorry I missed that. Give me a second. Thank you for the 300-bit cheer 32 minutes ago before I got a little distracty-lacty. Welcome back to the dog pile. Here's a bit of love for you with a side tangent. For years, I've tried building bracket 1 or 2 decks that revolve around my favorite card, Permeating Mass. I've never been able to make something I'm comfortable with or feels like it does anything. Any thoughts on Permeating Mass and what might synergize with it? Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy of this creature. Okay, so we want to be able to give it indestructible. That means we're in green-black. We want to be able to tutor it. That probably means we're in Abzan. We want to find this motherfucker quickly. So we tutor him in Abzan. We get him on board. We make him indestructible. And then we need a way for this creature to deal combat damage to all other creatures. There is lure. There is bite spells. I think the problem is that doesn't win us a game. This is like, okay, so here's the thing. This is a funny garnish. Oh, bite spells don't work. Combat, right, thank you. So it does have to be lure. Yeah, it's not combat damage. So, what this is a funny side gimmick. What you have right here is a very funny removal piece in a forced combat deck. What you don't have is the core gimmick of a deck. It cannot do enough things to be the core gimmick of a deck because it can't win you the game. All it can do is be like weird removal for other people's stuff, which is funny, but doesn't make it the core of a deck. Um, and that's really it. So every deck you make, I would go like, am I in green? Do I have ways to force blocks? If yes, permeating mass slots in. If no, building a deck around permeating mass specifically is probably a recipe for unhappiness. Because this thing by itself is not going to create a satisfying deck. What this thing could make is like a satisfying YouTube short. I could 100% see some of the more creatively bankrupt people I've met in my life do like, this is the evilest deck ever. It turns everything into a copy of permeating mass. And then they outline some like 5-card combo in a tutor package to try to do it, and it's not going to make you happy. It just won't. One of the biggest hurdles I've run into with my process is choice paralysis. Is why I asked you that one question yesterday, but I like the idea of not painting every day. I would paint less. I think if you are trying to feed yourself the reward less, your natural tastes will emerge more strongly and it will be easier to defeat choice paralysis. The allegory I'm thinking of is, you know how like bodybuilders don't season their food because they don't even want to enjoy the food, they just want to get it in them, like they want to dissociate it from the process of eating. That's kind of what you're in. We're doing it so much that we have to dissociate our actual preferences, because if we don't dissociate our preferences, we realize that we're in the battery acid. And so you got to get yourself out of the battery acid, and by doing it less, you will probably notice your preferences will arise more genuinely. Okay, we're doing ad break, and then we're going to be live only for a little bit more time. So we're actually going to work on my thing now. This has ended up as big therapy talk, which I do enjoy. I do want to work on my jokes. That is why we went live doing this instead of playing a video game. So get lasered, get ad broken. Then we're going to talk Ruhana the Fomori. Yeah, Cinema Spirit will probably be live like another half hour, but we are going to be live during the part where I try to do my actual bullshit. Because your boy has to pay for acupuncture appointments. They are helping my broken jaw. Well, Tomu, it's fine if you're not... You guys don't have to do the joke writing. Again, this is me writing jokes for me. Hello, Balder. Creeping up onto Feline. Thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. You guys hear me when I'm turned around like this? How has that been going so far? To what are you referring? Are you able to speak without opening your teeth, or does that still hurt? That's never been something I've tried. Alright. Ruhana Fomori. So I don't think this is actually too difficult to talk about. The core points to talk about is like the pretend loss of agency. For anybody in chat not familiar with this guy, this is a cheap yes guy 7/7 who has to attack randomly and has to attack every turn. And so I think the funny card interactions to talk about, or like the funny cards people would want to play, are like, oh yeah, it's not my choice to attack you, but it is my choice to cast Team Your Battle Rage. It is my choice to cast Bulk Up and double his power. Ooh, Assault Suit. Yeah, that's a card people will use with him. Raging Knight, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 8th month in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. What do you think about the concept of naming decks? I've seen it on Play to Win, and I live it. I made Krakashima and named it Krarker with Power. You can maybe use this as your jokes. I could. I don't think there's a deck name I need to call it. So I don't think Pramicon does... I don't think Pramicon does what you guys want, because the Ruhan trigger could make us choose somebody that we could not attack because of Pramicon, and then we just don't get to attack them. Are there any ways to make the person you hit feel alright, like any cards that give someone advantage for being hit? There could be. Ruhan players are not doing that. Any ideas about making Abaddon the spoiler for bracket 4, bracket 5? Is it just Doomsday Thoracle combo, or is there something better? You're almost certainly locked into some type of Cascade enabled combo, which almost certainly locks you into some type of Thoracle combo. Cameron Greywolf, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven. I appreciate that generosity so much. So I think, and again, guys, you don't have to feel bad about it. I'm not expecting you guys to come up with the jokes, but I am going to ignore a lot of the suggestions that are around card specificity. One thing I want to get better at is the artistic side of this, and I think getting better at the artistic side of this, if you look at a lot of other videos that are doing well, there's a lot of other big creators that are moving into the Magic space. Very few of them are referencing specific cards. Like, the fewer specific cards we can reference, unless the card we are referencing is the punchline of a joke, the better. So I'm going to try to avoid doing like too many like, oh my god, this card, oh my god, this card, oh what is deck 5 in that? I mean, we're doing a commander roast. We're doing the no, Alec man, ask it now. You can I will finish the plot line on that narrative. So we have pretend loss of agency. What else is happening? I think Chaos Gremlin vibes are related to that. So other stuff that's related to that is like I look at Ruhan and I think of the guy at D&D who always like fucks up the D&D session and then says, "Oh, but it's what my character would do." Like that's my vibe for Ruhan. We're gonna go annoying D&D player. I think that can be the hook. I think I can do something similar to what I did to the Zethi thing, where it was like, aren't you guys really excited to blank? And then go, no, too bad. right? Like the thing I'm, the thing that I think the main, I think probably the main funny bits of this one will be like something about them talking about, maybe I do like a character for this, but something about them talking about, no, 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 guys, it's not my choice. I have to hit you. And then I do the like slowed down voice edit everybody's doing right now, and then I go like, I am gonna hit you 18 times though. And then and that's when I can throw up the cards about like double strike, about like bulk up. Might be able to reference extra combats there too. KXZ501, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Are there cards that make opponents mill or exile when they get hit? Yeah, you could do Mind Skinner, but I don't think that matters. I also don't think that's what these people are doing. Like, what these people are doing are, these are like it's the most annoying D&D player you know, and they're using Ruhan as the like, but it's what my character would do. That's the core vibe of the skit. Like anything else that's just, oh, here's this like, here's this evil card you can run with Ruhan. I'm gonna leave that for other people to make videos on. Do we have anything deeper than? Do I have anything deeper than Chaos Gremlin, or am I just doubling down on Chaos Gremlin the whole time? There could be like a politics bait and switch. Right, again, like Ruhan Extra Combats, that's just another layer of like thing of like the core joke is them going, no, don't worry, bro, I didn't choose to hit you, but I did choose to make it deal to immediately be lethal. I did choose to cast Full Throttle. Actually, speaking of Full Throttle, how does that even work? What do you mean? By reading the text on the card and then doing what the card tells you to do. That's how Full Throttle works. Yeah. Yeah, like you have to pick like there's rulings for Ruhan where I think if you have Ruhan's new trigger replaces the previous one. So you're not like, oh my god, I have to attack both people. It's like at beginning of combat 1, I had to attack player 1. Beginning of combat 2, I have to attack player 3. I no longer have to attack player 1. Etc., etc. Hmm. I feel like I could probably invert the like guns don't kill people, people kill people line. Because the Ruhan players are ironically trying to go, no, the gun is killing you, I'm not killing you. Because they're like rolling the die to pick who Ruhan attacks and then they're killing you when it's totally their fault. And the pro gun crowd is going like, no, 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 it's not the gun's fault, it's the person's fault. There's something funny there. I don't know if you can go any deeper with Ruhan other than just maybe putting curses on people. Well, we're not talking about deeply mechanically. Oh, Zetsi, I love that. I love a guy that knows way too much about the legal differences between murder and manslaughter. That's the right type of deep cut, because that is the correct energy. These Julius, you're talking about mechanical stuff in the deck. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter past assigning vibes to him, and the vibes we're assigning to him is annoying D&D guy. Malik, thank you for coming to the 70th stream in a row. Welcome back to the dog park. Yeah, Ruhan players be like, the bullet actually killed him, Your Honor. Your Honor, the gun killed him, not me. The dice that I rolled killed him. Ooh, brain rot school shooter is that might be a little too. Ugh. I wish America was a better country so I can make that joke without feeling sad about all the school shootings that happened. What else do annoying D&D people say? Is any of that relevant to Ruhan players? I don't think so. Is this how you prep your roast? I'm curious. I don't tend to watch you live. I don't usually do it live. I'm doing it live today because I wasn't really in the mood to play games. The thing I wanted to work on was my creative skills. So we don't normally do this as a collective, but we did it during the subathon, and it was like fine enough during the subathon. God, I really. I don't know if there's a way to do it tastefully enough. I don't know if there's a way to do it tastefully enough, but I really the Subway Surfers school shooter is just such an accurate, also such an accurate read of him. All right, let's look at Alec Man's thing. Okay, two parts to this. How will my natural pace defeat my choice paralysis? Second, has being less interested in Warhammer gotten my brain out of the battery acid? A little bit, yeah. Finally, I've been focused on building models for one faction out of the several I own. Is the one I have most already built and painted for? Is that how I'll defeat choice paralysis, my brain out of the acid? The major reason I'm not working through armies I have little to nothing built painted for is the matter of finding space for them. It's finite, and I would say it would be inconvenient to create more in my current living situation. I don't think that's related to getting your brain out of the battery acid. I think that's just a separate constraint. Right? Like we can have, or sorry, I thought I still had the dopamine loop here. We can have the reward effort loop, and then we can have external problems with that reward effort loop that sabotage it. So for you, lack of space to do new stuff sounds like an external problem. Can we put Ruhan into the dopamine loop? No. I do think you've mostly taken your brain out of the battery acid, but with the choice paralysis, I'm mostly just thinking like it's difficult to create something you truly enjoy when you feel too pressured to just create anything. That's what I mean by solving your choice paralysis by doing it less often. I typically have a harder time making things I enjoy when I feel like I have to make something, right? Like if I I made fewer commander roasts I enjoyed when I felt like I had to make a commander roast every day. I made more commander roasts I enjoyed when I made commander roasts naturally as I wanted to. That's what I mean. All right, so we have murder versus manslaughter, we have lack of accountability, and we have the payoff being like, you're definitely dying the turn after this gets played. That seems okay. Doesn't feel like enough for a roast, so maybe it's just going to be a short one. Would a Nuremberg trials be appropriate here? I think there's, not to do the internet thing of always invoking the Nazis, but there's definitely something about like, I'm just following orders. For sure. For sure there's something about just following orders here. I doubt there's a Luigi reference. No, the gate, the guard, the key. We're getting too deep. This is like a carry-on bit that requires us to have already achieved this bit. We need less, not more. Okay. I think I understand this enough to get working on it. I do think we got to end there because I've almost been live for 2 hours, and 2 hours is the hard cutoff every day now. So thank you all for your time. I hope you enjoyed what was mostly a group therapy session, and then about 20 minutes talking about dark jokes we can make about a Jeskai commander. We will be live again tomorrow. We will be live again late tomorrow. My first acupuncture appointment is at 11:30 tomorrow, so I probably won't be live till like 1 or a little after 1, but we'll probably be live from like we'll probably be live from hold on, no, good one. Jesus take the wheel. Why is Jesus multi-track drifting? We're gonna write that down. And then I can do like trolley problem graphic. Yeah, Jesus is gonna do some multi-track drifting. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. We're gonna hit the Bald Kai, find somebody to raid. Sneaking in right at the end, can I ask what I should focus on if I primarily row as my main exercise? Core work to avoid getting hurt. All right, elk is up. We're gonna hit the elk child. We're gonna multi-track drift into 3-3 elk. I will see you all tomorrow around 1 PST. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and please remember to stay toxic. YouTube, that's just it for us, but I will see you again tomorrow.